Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack on TCG, where we're doing another Dragon Ball Super deck profile, and not just any Dragon Ball Super deck profile, but a deck profile from the new set Clash of Fates that just released a couple days ago. We got a couple boxes, we got some interesting build ideas, and I'm going to demonstrate today what I'm going to consider the generic red Frieza's army. Nothing too special. But before I get into that, hit the like and subscribe button, guys. If you like deck profiles, you like to see the duels, we try to bring out those as many times as we possibly can a week. I know sometimes it's a little harder for us to do, especially with the holidays, but those are over with, so we should be able to steamroll straight ahead with more content. But I will say, if you hear some strange humming noise in the background, I do apologize. I should be able to clean it out, but in case I can't, what that is just a heater. The HVAC, I think it's called. The ignition thing has a crack in it, so which means I get no heat in this place where we're at. So, gotta deal with the cold for right now because it's like 10 degrees outside. But that's enough about me. Let's get into this deck profile. So, it wouldn't be Frieza's army if I didn't play the new red Frieza leader. Looks pretty nice. Now, this is where this deck kind of goes places for me. I wanted to do a swap deck originally, and the only problem with that was I wanted to make a red-yellow swap deck. You know, feature the cold bloodlust, battering lasers for those final hits. The problem, though, was that with this leader's ability, I wouldn't pull any Frieza's army. I would just pull the other cards and have to put those cards at the bottom of my deck. So I ended up changing this one to a mono red deck, which features all of Frieza's army. In this case, the Ginyus from the new set, and, of course, the Frieza swaps from this set. So we'll start with this leader. It's an activate main once per turn. Choose one card from your life, add it to your hand. Look up to two cards from the top of your deck. Choose one red Frieza's army card from among them and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So if you don't get one, that's a whiff. So you take a life for nothing. Not even a draw for attacking in this case. So this is kind of where I'm like iffy about this leader. But when he does awaken, of course your life is 4 or less, you may draw one card, then choose up to 1 energy and switch it to active mode, then flip this card over. And when you flip him over, it becomes a pretty cool Frieza's metamorphic threat. So now when he attacks, he does draw 1 card, which is pretty cool. But his active main is once per turn, choose 1 red Frieza's army card in your battle area, KO it, then choose 1 card in your hand, place it in the drop area, and this card gains 5,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So if you want to do this, unfortunately you have to take a battle card and a card from your hand just to activate its effect, but you swing at your opponent with a 20,000 card, and then your opponent has to combo over 20,000 just to hurt you on your next hit on their turn, which isn't a bad idea, and I do like it for that. But with when I was playing it earlier, it just didn't work out for me, unfortunately. So that's why I went the straight mono red. Let's get into the cards. So normally I like to show battle cards first, but in this case I'm going to showcase an extra card. Frieza Spaceship. We do play 3 of these in this deck, and it is a field card. So at the end of your turn, choose up to 1 Frieza's army card, red Frieza's army card, with energy cost of 2 from your hand and play it. If you play a card with this skill, draw 1 card. Simple as that. So I could tap out on energy and still continue playing the either the early Ginyus, but not Ginyu himself, but all the other Ginyu Force guys, and then I could play also Frieza Swap 1 and 2 just fine. So actually no, you can't play 1 because it says the energy cost with energy cost of 2, so it only plays 2 cost cards. So like I said, it's not bad. I have I think 6 cards in this deck that are 2 costs that are considered Frieza's army. So moving that aside. So let's go ahead and start with the Frieza swap. We play 4 of the Frieza's Overture to battle. Weird word for me. But this is a 1-drop for 5,000 power. It has 2 effects. Swap 2. So pretty much, you take the secondary Frieza card, put it to the battlefield, pull this card back to your hand. There you go. But this Frieza's ability, though, when you play this card from hand, choose up to 1 of your red leader cards or red battle cards other than this card, and it gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So it's a nice way to either boost another card or even your leader. So like if you happen to be going second, this is your turn 1 play to kind of boost your leader up to 15. So your leader can attack if you want to attack for your leader, which makes it harder for your opponent to defend against because they have to use extra cards, more cards just to stop it. So it's not bad. The second form for Frieza, which we also play 4 of, Evolutionary Process Frieza, not Freezer. But this card has a swap 3, so it's a 1-cost red. Pretty much, you can pull out the 3-cost Frieza for 1 red with this card. Potentially, actually, turn 2 is great, because on turn 2, you could bring out the 1-cost, the 2-cost, then the 3-cost with both your energies, which isn't bad. And that's actually kind of what you want to do with this card. Only because it's permanent, though, is during your opponent's turn, this card gets minus 5,000 power. So if you can let it happen on turn 2, bring out the first Frieza, boost your leader. If you have a way of comboing with that first Frieza, go ahead and attack. Then swap out to this Frieza. Attack with that Frieza. And then instead of keeping this card in rest mode on your side, because now he's 10,000 your opponent's turn, your opponent knows that you're going to probably swap next turn with this card, so they'll probably just go ahead and get rid of it. But if you're able to swap it out, that, in my opinion, is what you want to do on turn 2. To bring out the third form of Frieza, which has that shatter holographic, which we all love. There we go. I think I got it to go away. Frieza, Storm of Blows. This is the only Frieza with swap that actually has barrier. And it has a swap 5 for 2 reds instead. So, pretty much you pay 2 red to bring out the 5-cost Frieza. His auto, though, is that when you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 20,000 power or less and KO it. So, if you're playing this on turn 2, it's a nice way to just clear your opponent's field before they can really do much there. Unless, of course, the card has barrier. Then your choice is kind of like, do I want to go ahead and go into this card, or do you want to hold off? But once again, it's not a bad play still regardless. And then you swing this guy to your leader. So that's it. I mean, so then let's go into turn 3 now. You still have that guy in the field. Your opponent couldn't stop it. You were able to somehow keep it alive. We play 3 of the Final Showdown Frieza. And of course, this is the cooler version of Frieza. As you can see, I have 2 of them right here. Nice little basic one, and then the cool one. And we managed to pull actually 2 of them, which is pretty nice. But let's get into the card's effect. It does have critical and double strike, which means when it attacks, if your opponent decides they can't stop it, those life don't go to their hand, they go to the drop zone instead, which is pretty sweet. This card's auto, though, which of course is a once per turn thing, which means you can activate it during your opponent's turn as well, because it's not specified active main. But when your opponent declares to play a battle card, or activate a skill that puts a battle card into play, if your leader card is Red Frieza's Army, you may choose 1 card in your life, place it in the drop area. If you do, the battle card is played with its skills negated for the duration of the turn. This skill can be activated at counter timing, which is pretty nice. So it's a good way of preventing your opponent to bring out a card that could potentially get rid of your cards, or, for example, if you're playing, say, a straight Ginyu deck, it will stop the Ginyus from bringing each other out. So it's not a bad card, not a bad thing to have on the field. And with Double Strike and Crit, it's kind of a threat. We do only play 3 of those, just because I had to make the room for other things in this deck to work out. So let's go to our next card. And I'm just showcasing this next card instead of waiting to the end like I normally would, because it's still a Frieza card. Unfortunately, it will not fit under the Swap 5 engine, but it is the awesome, super duper rare card, Frieza's Army Reborn. So, it is a quadruple strike, which is pretty sweet. You can only have 1 in your deck, because it is the secret rare. But its permanent is that when your life is 2 or less, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 3. So that would drop it down to 5, and you're kind of like, wait, that could work for the Swap 5, because it's in your hand as a 5 cost, right? Unfortunately, no, because this is considered a Frieza BR, which is Frieza Broly, where the other ones are just straight Friezas, and that's what the swap engine's for. It just swaps into another red Frieza. So you can't swap into this card. I wish you could, because its auto is that when you play this card, your opponent reveals their hand. You choose up to 1 card from your opponent's hand and place it into their drop area. Then choose all of your opponent's battle cards with 40,000 power or less, ignoring barrier, and KO them. That's awesome. Of course, though, this card does not have Deflect, and it can be negated. So it's a good chance that you can play this card, and your opponent could potentially just knock it away as it comes out, or just negate your attacks as you try to swing with it. But it's a good way of clearing your opponent's field and getting rid of a very important card from their hand. So it's still not a bad card to play on turn 5 if you're able to pull it off. Now let's get into the rest of the Frieza's armies. We play 3 of Zarbon's Hidden Potential. So 15,000 for 2 costs, but his ability is what I like the most. So you will play this card, then you attack this card, and after you attack this card, you can use your Frieza's your Awakened Frieza's ability, because when this card is KO, draw 1 card, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 15 power for the duration of the turn. So pretty much you'll use Frieza's power to discard a card, you pop him from your battlefield, Frieza gets becomes a 20,000, and then you can do 15,000 points of damage to one of your opponent's battle cards, which could potentially kill their battle card. Enough said. Pretty sweet. We do play 4 of and I always got his name weird. It's Dodoria, I don't know, the Expendable, but he's a nice little blocker for 10,000 2 costs. But his effect, so when this card is KO'd, choose up to one red Frieza card with energy cost 2 or less from your hand and play it. So you can go ahead and play the 2 cost Frieza from your hand right to the field when he is KO. So it's a nice way, he takes the hit and you bring out another card just fine. I mean, granted, it has to be the red Frieza card with energy cost 2 or less, so it can be either the first form or second form. And if you bring out the first form, you can potentially give it to your leader, which gives your leader another 5,000 boost. So it makes it harder for your opponent to kind of take another life from you. So it's not bad to hang on to. Now, for our next set of cards, we're going to kind of get into the Ginyu Force, which is still Frieza's army. And I'm going to start with their leader, because the leader should always take charge. Body Change Ginyu. As you can see, we got the awesome, cool version of that. Here's the basic one, kind of the shatter effect. We don't like that. But this one doesn't have the shatter effect, so it makes this one way better. But, so for 3 costs, 15,000 power, when you play this card, choose all Ginyu Force cards in your battle area. They get plus 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. That includes this card as well, which is pretty nice. Its active main, though, is place this card in its owner's drop area. Play this card in your opponent's battle area from its owner's drop area with its skills negated. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 20,000 power or less, other than Body Change Ginyu, gain control of it, and switch it to active mode. So, with that ability, you could just swing with this card, then you could do change, take their card, then you have another card you can attack with. I mean, it's just beautiful. And what I figured out, now of course, if anyone, if there's rules about this, I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but if you combine the Zarbon on the field, you swing with Zarbon, then you swing with Ginyu, use Frieza's ability to pop Zarbon, do 15,000 damage to one of your opponent's cards that happens to be over 20,000, then use Body Change Ginyu to take control of that stronger card. In theory, that works. I haven't had a chance to come across the rulings for that if that doesn't work yet. And if it doesn't work, put in the comments, let us know about that if I have a chance to check it out after I post this video. But for the rest of the Ginyu squad, we do play 4. The Strike Force Berter. And it does have crit. And it's auto. Now, pretty much all these Ginyu Force can have the same auto. I'll kind of lightly go over their first effect, but all of them have the same auto for the super combo, which is we'll get into that one in a second. But Berter has crit, and the auto is when you play this card from your hand, if all your battle cards are red and no other color, look up to the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to one red Ginyu Force card with energy cost of 2, other than, of course, the same Berter, or in this case, it would be any of the cards. You can't pull the same card you're using the auto with. But, and then it plays it to the field, and you put the other cards at the bottom of your deck. The great thing about this is that the Frieza spaceship plays it from hand. So you could potentially play a Berta for 2 costs, play something else, have no energy, in your turn, use Frieza spaceship, and play another Ginyu Force on the field, get their effective playoff as well. Which is pretty, I mean, Ginyu is good for swarming in this case. Like, able to just build your field up as much as you possibly can, and hopefully just attack your opponent enough times to do some damage. And of course, you want to build that Ginyu army first before you bring out Body Change Ginyu himself. For the next card, we do play the Strike Force Gudo, who has Barrier. Same auto as well as Berter, where you can just top 5, pull a card besides, of course, the card you see in front of you, and then proceed to drop on the field if you happen to find a Ginyu Force. For the only exception to that rule is a super combo. Because it's a super combo. As long as your life, in this case, is 5 or less, draw 1 card, and the card you combo with gets plus 10,000 power. But you can pull him with those autos, which is pretty nice. I will say this is an odd super combo because it looks like it's going back to the old ways. But Fluff had a theory about that. They designed some of these cards before ahead of time before they release them. So it might have been something they decided to do before they dropped the 5th series. But that's here and there. It's still a good card for the Ginyu Force. Now for the last Ginyu Force guy, we do play 4 as well, which is Riku, who has Double Strike. And of course the same auto where top 5 cards, don't pull another Raccoon. If you do pull a Ginyu Force, put on the field, of course it has to have energy cost of 2. But once you have Raccoon on the field, I do play 2 of the Raccoon Ultra Fighter Bomber, which is activate main. If Raccoon card is in play in your battle area, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with 15,000 power or less, ignoring barrier, and KO it. So once again, that's another card you can combo with. If you come across like a 25 or a 30 on the field, use Arbonne, pop him, and then use Raccoon just to kind of kill it for sure. So, and last but not least, we do have a set of negates we play. I'm currently playing the Paralyzing Technique, which is a 1 cost, and you negate the attack, and if your leader card is Red Frieza's Army card, choose your opponent's leader card and all of their battle cards, and they get minus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. I choose this one over After Image only because it affected all of my opponent's battle cards, unless of course they have barrier, because it does say to choose their cards. But it's a way to just knock down a lot of their attacks, so it makes them your opponent least likely to continue attacking, because if they want to attack, they have to actually use cards to start comboing to just kind of get over your leader. So, not a bad pick in my opinion of this one. Like I said, this is just a generic Frieza's Army card, Army deck. And I got some actual ideas after I kind of put this one together for an actual Frieza swap. And Fluff should be doing a Ginyu one eventually. And I'll be doing a Bardock next. So, like always, hit that like and subscribe button if you want more of this content, because we try to bring this out as much as possible. And if there's anything you're interested in seeing from this new set that you think would be interesting or just want to see, let us know in the comments. We'll take care of that for you. And like always, thanks for tuning in and have a good one.